Well, I came to the Department of Corrections in 2001. At that time, corrections was just finishing an era of building. Every year and a half or so, a new prison went up. Population was growing at about 3 1/3 inmates per day. And if you do the math on that, you can tell you need a new prison about every year and a half. When Governor Carnahan appointed me, one thing was very clear. The building era was over.
So once that occurred, the thought came to us that now that we have these people incarcerated, we really have an obligation to try to do something with them so that they don't come back.
It was in August of 2002 that the department director here, Gary Kempker, held a breakfast, and he talked to us about this grant that they'd received, and it was to launch the Transition from Prison to Community Initiative, or TPCI is what we called it in the early days.
Cranston Mitchell had been the previous parole board chairman in Missouri and had gone on to work for the Department of Justice in Washington, D.C. And he had sent a concept paper on the TPCI, which is Transition from Prison to Community Initiative.
Our history with MRP goes back probably to the very beginning, to the whole TCPI days that we call it TIPSY for short. When we started talking about the data and hearing that 95–98% of the folks who are in prison are going to come out, it made so much sense on so many levels that we be involved in the effort. So we have this network of 20 partnerships across the state.
What that meant was that state agencies sat down and talked together about reentry. So, and that I think has continued on, that you have not only corrections, but you have mental health and economic development, housing, you name it.
They identified a few of us from around the state. I had no background in corrections. I mean, our Department of Human Services does not. We're not the Division of Corrections for the city, so I didn't really have much expertise. But I had, an understanding of the impact that reentry was having on homelessness and other issues that the city had to contend with.
We recognized early on that we had to have partners to make this a reality. We would never have the resources on our own to be able to do this. And the TPC model, that was a critical part of that, is you have to build partnerships. And so we reached across state agency lines to places like the Department of Mental Health, the Department of Social Services, and others that had critical components to successful offender reentry, and asked them to partner. And we also had tremendous support from Governor Carnahan. He recognized that this was a real opportunity for us. And fortunately, we were selected by the National Institute of Corrections to be one of the first states to model their plan. And that model had a strong foundation of collaboration and cooperation.
In 2003, I was asked to accept the position for reentry manager for the Missouri Department of Corrections. I spent probably 8 to 9 years working with each of the divisions of the department, trying to put the philosophy of reentry, implementing principles and practices.
There was a directive to invite a broader community participation. And so that's when the not-for-profits, faith-based and other, the treatment, the service providers, could all sit around the table with probation, parole, and prison staff. And we could together say, how can we collaborate to make this a more successful situation than we've experienced?
It was a profound change for the department, and we accepted the challenge institution-wide or organization-wide, and it's really been our focal point ever since.